Hello everyone, I'm Dong-Soo Kim, the instructor of BUSML 7247 Analytics for Macro Marketing Data course. This is the lecture of marketing research and decision making. Before you start, don't forget to check out our course website for if there are readings and videos required for this lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to briefly review what is marketing research and how marketing research supports a firm's decision-making process through ROI evaluation. The gold standard for ROI evaluation is experimentation. However, conducting experiment is not always feasible. If experiments are not feasible, then what to do? I'm going to briefly talk about solutions, which is the goal of this course. Okay, are you ready? Then let's get started. Business is a sequence of decision making. A firm faces to decide what to make, to whom to sell it, and how to sell it. For example, a firm needs to decide product features and price to be offered, advertising and communication channels for interactions with customers, logistics and events to promote sales, and procedure of dealing with dissatisfied customers. In that sense, marketing research can be viewed as the systematic process of using formal research and consistent data gathering to improve the marketing function within an organization. This definition, suggested by Feinberg, Kinney, and Taylor 2012, clearly states what is the goal of marketing research and how to conduct marketing research. In the definition, the goal of marketing research is to improve the marketing function. Here, the marketing function means a decision-making faced by marketing managers. The managers cannot handle all of the decision-making problems by themselves. They sometimes seek to evidence that can justify their decision-making through marketing research. Decades ago, research had been based on decision makers' knowledge, experience, and intuition. But nowadays, with advances in computational technology, we can access lots of data about what's actually going on under various environments and situations. By analyzing the data, market research provides empirical evidence that more clearly suggests which action to go for. Here is an example. A/B testing for website design. Suppose that there is an online store that wants to replace the website design, and the marketing manager of this store hired a design company. The company proposed two designs, version A and version B. The store definitely wants to sell more, so the manager wants to know which version of website will lead to higher rate of conversion to purchase. To do so, the manager ran a simple experiment online. She built a website with each of the versions and made some of the store visitors enter the new site instead of the old site. Those sample visitors were randomly assigned to one of the versions, and the manager tracked conversions to purchase in each version for several weeks. During the weeks, she found that the conversion rate in version A is about 20%, whereas the rate in version B is about 25%. With this empirical evidence, the manager concluded version B would be better than version A and decided version B as the store's new website. In detail, a decision is generally made through the following steps. First, managers recognize what is a problem to solve or an opportunity to take. Second, managers clarify what to decide. And third, managers identify which actions are available. Fourth, managers evaluate each of the possible options. And then, managers select one of the actions to do based on the evaluation. And the final step is follow-up step, which is to actually implement the action decided and monitor results from the action. Marketing research, of course, can support all of the steps of decision making to recognize a problem or opportunity, clarify the decision, and identify available actions. Managers may conduct a preliminary study to select an action and actually implement the action. Managers may do extra analysis for details of the action. But mostly, the main role of marketing research is for the evaluation step, as in the A/B test example, 20% for version A and 25% for version B. To evaluate alternatives, we need to set criteria. Most firms and organizations pursue profits, so return on investment, for short, ROI, has been widely used as a concept of evaluation. In this concept, each of the available actions is viewed as a separate investment, and ROI of an action is technically defined as the ratio of net profit from the action and cost of the action. More generally, we can say that ROI of an action is a money metric measure of what would happen if doing the action. In the A/B test example, the manager observed the conversion rate in her experiment. All other things being equal, the conversion rate is the measure sufficient to gauge what would happen to the store's profits. In marketing, demand level or sales level is the main determinant of the profit. So, gauging what would happen is usually involved in decision or sales prediction. With advances in computational technology, the focus is now moving from marketing managers' intuition to data-driven prediction. So far, we have reviewed the goal of market research, which is to provide empirical evidence that supports decision makers. Then, how to provide the empirical evidence? By using formal research and consistent data gathering. There are various research questions in various environments and situations. For each question, smart mathematicians, statisticians, computer scientists, economists, and marketing researchers have developed research methods to address the question. But in most cases, the gold standard is experimentation, like the A/B test example. Analysis through an experiment in marketing is made up of evaluations of ROI or determinants of ROI, such as the conversion rate in the A/B test example. The key to running an experiment is to set a control group. Always, there is a certain level of demand and sales, regardless of the manager's choice of action. And this baseline demand or sales must be separated out for exact evaluation of an action. So, in an usual experiment, there are two groups, a treatment group and a control group. Only one thing differs between the groups: whether the action the manager wants to evaluate is implemented or not. Prediction from the control group, where the action is not implemented, captures the baseline, and prediction from the treatment group, where the action is implemented, captures the baseline plus additional demand of cells caused by the action. So, comparing the prediction from the treatment group to that from the control group, we can exactly measure the causal effect of the action on ROI. However, conducting experiments is not always feasible. To obtain reasonable predictions, a sufficient number of sample customers are required, especially for the control group, which usually incurs lots of costs of money and time. If that's the case, researchers rely on alternative sources of data where they can draw the predictions with proper research methods. These methods include quasi-experiments, model-based analysis, and etc. In this course, you will learn what kind of data you can use and how to use the data from market predictions to evaluate ROI. Alright, that's all I have in this lecture. After watching this lecture, please check out our website again for if there are additional readings and videos required or strongly recommended, online quiz assignment, and hands-on exercise in our software. Then, see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.